Hey, what's up YouTube, Skybadger here, and we are back on day 43 of our 100 player fan game series. So as you can see, there are two coalitions, Brothers in Arms and Sisters in Legs. Now, Brothers in Arms is made up of myself, Rog, DF, and... man, I can't pronounce anything if you guys haven't noticed that. This guy down here, I may as well just come up with a name for you, Foro. We're going to call him Foro. Foro. What about Foro. I don't know. I'll come up with something. So us four created the coalition, Brothers in Arms, and that is just so we could help ourselves take back our territory. And then enabled me to take back and give territory immediately back to DF that I captured in his core. And it was also meant we can fire rockets willy-nilly without declaring war on each other, which has been very, very helpful, because I mean, we're still trying to get back our land from last time war was declared by accident. So, where we're at the moment is, if we come into the newspaper, we can see that we have actually risen up. Actually, I don't think we changed this last time, but we've risen up into 6th place. Now, we are going to continue climbing that in the coming days as we do a little bit more in Europe. Sadly, the stuff we're doing in Europe at the moment isn't really that important or that major. As you can see, we're still fighting Saudi Arabia, and you know, thumbs up for him for still being active, but we're not going to gain too many points here. We're at peace with Romania, and we're trying to get peace with Finland, so, you know, we'll climb a little bit, get a few more VP points, but we're not going to get anything, you know, too major. So, really, all the points are going to come from once we push through this territory and get all the way over to here. Even then, I'm not sure I want to be over here, because, I mean, my capital's all the way down here, and I'm in no shape or way, form whatsoever. There's no way I'm going to be able to support morale up in these territories. So it's a little bit of a tough call, and it's going to take a massive investment. One I can't really afford to do right now. On that note, I've actually got a little bit more iron available, or metal, so let's just come into here and scroll down the list and start one on the next one. So I'm investing a lot in our food production at the moment, as you can see, building a lot of infrastructure on this just because we're at 100 or minus 114, and we've got all of our barracks disabled. Now, we can't stay here. We need to get our food production back up, or else we can't expand our forces. We've got a very large amount of manpower available, but once again, we can't go building anything because we don't have the food. What we can do though is continue to spam out rockets, as these bad boys don't use any food, and we have a massive amount of oil available to spend on them. So yeah, that's what's happening there. As we can see, Africa is now clear of enemy forces, which is great. We've got no enemy forces on our territory anymore, and we have finally managed to stall out our enemy in the Middle East. As we can see, we've been pretty stable along here for the past couple of days. There's only, I think, 3 major armies left in the region. We've got this one here that belongs to New Zealand, another New Zealand one, and the Sumatran one. Where's that? We got. Did we destroy it? Nah, there it is. So apart from these, there's no other major armies left. It looks as if Venezuela and British Columbia are assembling or trying to assemble one. But I mean, you know, for the time being, there's only those 3 major armies. We ourselves don't have any major armies to counter it. It's not our approach. As we said, we don't have the food to approach it like that. So we're approaching with rockets and Air Force, and a massive amount of artillery. So our major stacks in the region are basically all comprised of artillery and rockets, basically. Got a lot of rockets, and we've been using a lot of those. In fact, it's almost becoming a joke. I mean, it is a bit of a dick move to use rockets the way we're using them to fight our war, and I do feel a little sorry for the enemy. Oh, should I message Roger about that? Yeah, probably should be a second. Sweet, so just flicked Roger a message, letting him know that he's about to patrol over the New Zealand fleet, and if he does that, he's going to lose the nav. Well, it's going to take a lot of damage. So hopefully he gets that message and he stops the patrol. So, anyway, fronts are stabilized. We're starting to well, I'm starting to put more energy into Europe. However, at the same time, we need to make sure that we don't allow a similar incursion to happen again in Africa. So I'm basing a lot of my rockets out of this location here. Now, the beauty of this location is it provides me, and sorry DF, especially me, good coverage on my coast. As we can see, it covers all the way up around here, all the way down here, and even down here, it covers a lot. However, there's a few points it just doesn't cover. So as we can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots it doesn't cover, and for that we can deploy rockets elsewhere on another airbase to cover those points. So for the most part, this airbase here covers most of it. So we've got a lot of rockets heading down there at the moment. At the same time, we've also got rockets heading up into Europe. Now, the reason we've got rockets heading up into Europe is because there is a new threat on the horizon. This guy, he's joining the party. So last night we were not quite able to destroy the New South Wales stack as it approached, and we lost 4 aircraft, getting it down to this point 17. But 17 out of 50 is not bad considering his activity. So what we're doing at the moment is we're assembling a small force to basically counter it. So this force here is basically the only thing to stop it from doing any major damage. My solution was rockets. However, we're going to need our rockets to deal with this stack here, which lands, annoyingly, very late at night. So I'm not happy about having to wake up for this one. I'm going to try get it beforehand with submarines. Save me having to rocket it. But if my submarines don't get to this point in time, I'm going to have to use rockets to hit it as it tries to offload. So although you can't see it at the moment, once my aircraft get out of the way, it is actually heading into this path here. So we identified it with our spy reports earlier on. So coming to here, we can see we have a reveal all on basically all of our opponents, and this is the one that we got that really mattered. He hadn't been doing much over the past few days, so I'm pretty happy I checked up on that and made sure he wasn't doing anything today. So I'm really... any of those on me? I don't think any of those are on me. I should be okay. Yeah, so the gist of it is we caught it early and we're going to have plenty of time to get rid of it. So I've had these subs heading into position for a while now, and they should hopefully get there just in time. Annoyingly, I have had to force march them. However, these units here, they stand no chance against the submarines. The submarines will stall, buy me time, I can send in the rockets, absolutely destroy them, and then that's that problem dealt to. He hasn't done much this game. He's set up in his core, and he really hasn't done much more than this little bit of expansion, so he's in for a rough time when he finally joins in the game. Anyway, so with that out of the way, there's Europe. At the moment, we're just trying to get some extra land, and we're trying to get through to where... oh, he's retreating. He's running away. Oh. Oh. I wanted to kill that. Now I've got to worry about it going elsewhere. Like, I mean, I guess I'm going to get it before it gets anywhere else that could be dangerous. So, anyway, the aim of the game was to come over here to destroy that. However, I figured we'd also clean up Saudi Arabia's territory in this region. I'm pretty happy leaving him on the island for the time being. On the island. In Britain, the United Kingdom, for the time being, I don't have the resources to go over there and push him out. In reality, there is only these 11 BC troops, and he has 2 units in London. Not a big deal, but for the next couple of days, not a priority getting over there. I have this group assembling here, and once I deal with these 2 major stacks, if Saudi Arabia is still being slightly annoying, still moving around, I'll send them over to capture it. But for the time being, it looks like he's about to have full control of the United Kingdom as North USA rebels. I've considered sending in my paratroopers, because at the moment they've just sat idle for the past few days. However, I'm thinking it's not worth wasting them on such an easy target. So that is what it is. Our aircraft are over here patrolling to make sure we can kill these units pretty quickly. This one SPAA has been really annoying. I would have liked to got my aircraft in here beforehand. However, I'm really rushed trying to get these done. I'm really keen to capture these food provinces to help alleviate that minus 114. So that's really the main focus of coming over here. As you can see, we get 1, 2, 3 food provinces, and that will supply this region and maybe offer a little bit of relief to our current situation. If we zoom out and come back down into Africa, we can see that at the moment... oh, where's he going? Where's he going? Ah, oh, damn it. I'm gonna... do I have any aircraft that could scout? No, I don't. What I do have, though, is an AA gun. As we know about our enemies, they're not using much in the way of aircraft, so that one AA gun's not going to be wasted, so we'll stop those there. At the moment, what we're doing is we are trying to just niggle and annoy BC by shelling out this fleet. The reason why we're shelling it out is because we have artillery that's sitting around doing nothing, and this elite stuff is actually not too bad, considering it attacks with 1.2. By the time you have 8 of them, or 15 attacking, you know, they're nearly as effective as one cruiser. Obviously, they don't have the... Actually, they would have the health by the time you add it all up. But that's the aim of the game. We're just trying to slowly niggle it down, especially if he wants to be along our coast. We can outrange him, so as long as we're active and we're careful, it's not going to be a problem. At the same time, we've got these rockets heading into the city here. Now, I'm kind of being, I guess, in a way, a little bit cocky at this point. There's no reason to do what I'm about to do, but it just so happens that EA is grouping his troops in the city right here, and this city happens to be in range of my rockets once they're in position. So I'm going to fire a few rockets over there just to remind him that I'm still here. Our spy reports from the past few days, if we actually open them up, have shown that our enemy has very little manpower left. So every unit we kill is one that they really cannot replace. If we have a look at our own manpower for comparison, we can see that we are producing around 22,000 per day, and that is being consumed, so we're really only getting about 15. Now, let's just assume in the best case scenario, he's not all that much bigger than us. Let's just say he gets 25,000. If we can keep knocking him back, and he can only produce 25,000 manpower per day, he's really going to stall out very quickly in what he can build. One infantry, for example, costs about, I think it's 1,500. Let's check. 1,300. So, I mean, very quickly we can limit how much he can produce, and especially considering he's producing a lot of infantry-based units, he's going to struggle to keep up with demand, so we can keep knocking him back a step. It's going to go a long way. Now, the reason I said this wasn't a particularly smart move is because I could very easily station these rockets up here, and I could hit his troops when they're convoys. However, I've just been smart at the moment, and I just want to prove to him that he's not safe in South America, and we will get over there pretty soon. Our fleet has been down here destroying enemy convoys that have been unescorted, that were traveling down to this rally point to meet up in the city. We got down there and we've taken out about 5, I think. We've also managed to kill a few subs. At the moment, I'm just grouping my fleet back up, and then I'm going to go try kill some of these. I just need to figure out where this is going. I don't want to come over here only to then meet this fleet again. As we saw in that naval combat, BC did escape. He escaped with 1 battleship out of the 6 he brought into the combat, although he was able to destroy 1 of our capital ships. However, these are slowly healing up. We lost a lot of destroyers during that battle. However, destroyers aren't too big of a deal. We don't have many submarines, so his destroyers are pretty much useless. And at the same time, he does have a lot of cruisers, but considering we still have our battleships, we are in a good position. So, not too worried about that. Considering his core is all the way up here as well, he's going to struggle, as we can see. It'll take 1 day and 15 hours to get a battleship back down to here. Oh, that's so tempting. I wonder if I can rally up some submarines and just go sink that while it's by itself. I love doing that sort of thing. So, escorts team. Really got to have your escorts. At the moment, I'm a little slack. As we can see, I have this group of cruisers up here. My intel suggests the area is safe. I know there are some North USA cruisers down here and a few submarines, but for the most part, I'm pretty confident that these cruisers will go unopposed. Once I get these cruisers up here, I'll pair them up with the submarines, and then I should be able to perform a naval crossing later on. So, did Rog move that naval bomber? Yes, he did. He must have got my message. Okay, that's good. 1 naval bomber saved. That's what teamwork's all about, you know? Just then the allies know when something's about to go wrong. Because, I mean, that's 1 naval bomber, but at the same time, we are incredibly stretched for metal right now. Every little bit of metal we can get is so precious. So, I mean, one of these nav bombers takes 700 metal to produce 750, so you don't want to waste it. Over here, once again, I talked about this earlier, there's not too much more happening. We're starting to take back a little bit of territory and really just trying to hold our own territory as is. We're not looking to expand out just yet. We are definitely heading in that direction, but there's no need for us to move too quickly. What's happening elsewhere? There's not really too much more to say, to be honest. I mean, this is the only area where anything's really happening. So, oh yeah, Venezuela took out the North USA, and I mean, I'm pretty happy about that, because I mean, it's one less person we have to fight. In the coming days, he's gonna have his last of his territory rebel, and then that's one less person that we have on this list. Yugoslavia should be able to knock off pretty easy. I've already sent him a peace offer. Finland we should be able to knock off pretty easily. So that's 2 down. Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, once again, pretty easy. And, you know, with North USA down as well, that only leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. The people we're actually fighting, which will be good. Yeah, so I think we should call the episode there. What am I researching? I am researching infantry because it's cheap and I need my resources for rockets. As we can see, we're currently getting elite level infantry. I'm saving up to upgrade my anti-tank because at the moment my anti-tank is slowing down my stacks. I've got pretty much some very good artillery. I've also got some AAs. How fast is my AA at the moment? Okay, I need to upgrade that too. So my next port of call will be to upgrade to level 4 and level 5 AA guns and anti-tanks. So not too much more to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.